Hey, hello everybody. We're gonna be reviewing officially the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 set and the Peter Pan Neverland Nightmare set, specifically collector set, right? Now I will say, oh, obviously I've got a couple odd and random things on my channel, right? And I bet nobody's gonna expect Sonic the Hedgehog is my cameraman today. So yeah. Um that's what happens. You don't got a cameraman. Just hire Sonic the Hedgehog, right? So this is the title. Do I have a way for a flashlight? Oh jeez, no. Sonic's bad at his own job. He literally just has to stand here. Okay, this is the title. You got Winnie the Pooh, Piglet, and Tigger, and Owl. And then you got the side with the Umbrella Entertainment, the symbol. So then on the back, right, you got some notes that they put. So it's a twisted perversion of beautiful children's stories, no respect for anything sacrificed. People have tarnished to everything. Not even beautiful childhood story characters who helped shape us into who we are safe from modern depravity. The existence of these films is heartbreaking. What happened to my boy Winnie? Then, something I won't say, because this is a friendly channel. So, making childhood stories into horrors. There's gonna be nothing left for kids to even watch or read soon without being terrified, bruh. It's Lily Bros in the thing, too. Okay, so the first thing we go over, based on what they have, is these art cards. So, I originally had this set a year ago, right? But I didn't have a way I was really able to review it. So, first you have Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, and Piglet. And then the top area on the branch, you can kind of see Owl. Then, of course, you got this version of Winnie the Pooh. This is quite unexpected. Definitely a fan design, it looks like. Then you got Owl, and he's tagging somebody from the neck. Looks like a hunter. Then you got Tigger, and he's looking at a police officer who's looking at a body. And then, of course, this one with the characters together. Don't let knives face upwards. This will happen. Okay. You got Tigger eating somebody's foot, leg, whatever. And then Winnie the Pooh, and he's got his head getting split in half. Okay. Alright, now we're going sideways, I see. So this is Piglet's design for the second movie. And then, of course, you got Tigger's design for the second movie. And I know my eyes keep going off this side. That's just because I'm watching the main screen to make sure you can all see what I'm showing. So then you got Winnie the Pooh. That is Winnie the Pooh, yeah. And then you got the silhouette of Winnie the Pooh as well. Next up, you have a young Christopher Robin and Winnie the Pooh for the film. Christopher Robin when he's a little older, and he has a gun in his hand. Perfect. Which isn't far-fetched, because in the original story, he had a little shotgun thing, or whatever. Then you got Owl, and to top it all off, you have Winnie the Pooh on a throne. Okay, so now, this is from the first collector set, which I don't actually have the full set of this one. But you have Winnie the Pooh, Blood is Thicker Than Honey. Okay. This is gonna be the hardest way to do this. All is silent in the 100-acre wood, no laughter or adventure, emptiness where friendship once stood. After many years, Christopher Robin found his way home, not aware of the darkness therein that had grown. When he left, a hatred had spread. Pooh, Owl, Rabbit, Piglet, and Eeyore, the love between them long since dead. His betrayal had driven them to madness. Left out in the cold, their thoughts turned from blackness to badness. And you can see them all together for this one. In their darkest of hours, when all hope had ended, the last bastion of light in Pooh's mind suspended, deciding that Eeyore, the weakest, would be first, they turned on their friend, gave in to their bloodthirst. But Eeyore's death wasn't actually shown in the movie, so that's a new scene. Or, for those of you that have seen the movie or haven't, the scenes they show here are a bit different from the ones in the book. The scenes they show here are a bit different from the ones in the movie. Christopher Robin entered the wood with a smile, bringing his wife, expecting to play for a while, but his friends of the past had murder in their eyes. Piglet fell on his wife, hungry for blood, ignoring his cries. Piglet and Pooh tied him up fast. No swift death for Christopher Robin, it would last. Some holiday makers had come to the woods that day. Their bloodlust not sated, Piglet and Pooh set off after new prey. Out of the darkness emerged the woodland hunter. One of the friends heard a scream, and outside a horrible scene did confront her. They had begun to cull. They tied up her friend, and with the car crushed her skull. A surprise attack swung the odds in her favor, though the situation still couldn't be graver. With a glint in her eye and the thought of her friend, the swing of a sledgehammer brought Piglet his end. And in the back, that's where Winnie the Pooh would have crept up on her and killed her. The rampaging Pooh, unstoppable, evil, and violent, ran down the young women to the last. His eyes melt violent in triumph. Christopher Robin tried in vain to end Pooh. The strength of Pooh's evil he cannot undo. Pooh cut the girl's throat. To him, just more father. The nightmare that ended for Christopher Robin. Oh, bother. And then you got this to end it all off. And then, because, there's the book for this set, because that was the book for the first set, which is obviously the one, like I said, I don't have the full thing to. So this is part 2. So part 1 was Honey is Thicker Than Blood, and part 2 is the sticky story of a bloody Pooh. So here we go. Like normal. I know, this is probably like the worst way I could do the narration. In the 100-acre woods once filled with glee, my lice now ruled Pooh and his friends, oh dear me. For vengeance and dominance the animals strived to finish what they started to ensure they survived. Christopher Robin, once the hero, now despised. He couldn't forget the murderous cries. His best friend Pooh had been now a creature of evil like nothing he'd seen. Honey pots were long since licked, rumbly tummies feeling tricked. Their power unnatural filled to the brim, left them hungry, tearing victims limb from limb. A sickening discovery deep in the woods, viciously butchered body parts laid out like shopped goods. The cavalry called police entered the den, but no weapon or training could help them then. Out they stomped, those furry friends, fangs a-showing round the bends. With a growl and a grunt, a snarl and a whine, Pooh declared it's pooing time. Christopher, searching, unearthed a terrible truth, a tale too awful to bear for a hero to sleuth. The animals were once good, but twisted and turned. He couldn't believe all that he had learned. He entered his home and found unspeakable violence. Calling for his parents, there was nothing but silence. Bonnie was missing, his worst fear confirmed. Meanwhile, Tigger was rampaging with hatred that burned. Christopher Robin doing battle with Pooh, a flaming chainsaw from which there would be no rescue. Suddenly, Pooh was stopped in his tracks, the end for their friendship. Pooh's head split with an axe. Perfect. You got the ending picture as well, and then the red book background, and then, of course, you got the movie. So, inside the container for the film, you have the double-sided poster. which I assume the first collector set should have already had too. Because you got this one with Winnie the Pooh with a chainsaw. And then you got this one with a couple of the characters. For those of you that know, you would know. If you don't know, go watch the movie. And if you don't want to watch the movie, why are you here when I'm reviewing the collector set? Okay, so now we're going to the next collector set, which is going to be, obviously, Peter Pan, Neverland Nightmare. Or Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare is the correct way of saying it. So, here is the title of it. Or the, I don't know, the cover. Yeah, the cover. So, you can tell this Peter Pan. Yeah. Pretty easy. So, then you got the side with the Umbrella Entertainment again. This is just a back part that fell. So, one thing to notice, slightly different logos at the bottom because Winnie the Pooh has a yellow umbrella. So on the back, this movie was disgusting. First they came for Winnie the Pooh, and now they've taken Peter Pan off the public domain land. Watch out, Disney fans. If you are expecting a family-friendly or uplifting film, then forget it. This movie will ruin your childhood dreams, and maybe even yours. And by the way, notice how like they're each styled after a book design too. So yeah. And now, this one, I don't know why it's harder to get the stuff out. So, you got Peter Pan, and then Peter Pan with one of his victims, and then in the back you have the Lost Boys Let's Go to Neverland vehicle. You have this scene, okay, Tinkerbell, a death scene, another death scene, Wendy versus Peter, and then Peter Pan and Captain Hook. So you got what is probably going to be one of the Lost Boys. And this person's floating, so that's likely Peter Pan. That's Wendy. There is Michael. You know, the younger brother. Peter Pan. There's no perfect way of showing it, too. They're all appearing kind of staticky on my screen. Peter Pan. Peter Pan. And a random victim, I guess that is. I don't know. Maybe it's Wendy. Okay, so now we had Winnie the Pooh. Time for the third book in the set. The same length as the other two, because they're all the same exact length. Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare. And this one, you can tell on the side right there on the page, is a Hook. So whoever this kid is, he already knew about Captain Hook. Apparently. Yeah, because then on the other side, you also got Peter Pan's shadow and like the face or whatever. So he would have already known about this. Some little lore. Okay. So you got Peter's literal shadow or his silhouette. And now, in Neverland, where dreams take flight, Peter Pan, a mischievous sight, met a shadow dark and grim, whispering secrets filled with sin. The shadow grew a monstrous thing, spreading darkness the cold night sting. Laughter turned to fierce dismay, joyful flights now lost their way. The bus a metal tomb he claimed, its driver silenced, life unnamed. Peter, with eyes of chilling gleam, now steered a nightmare, not a dream. Tinkerbell, with wings so bright, tried to warn of coming night. She shot her dust, a desperate plea, a blinding flash futility. The shadow surged a cruel attack. Her tiny arms, it tore them back. Her pixie dust, a futile flight against the shadows deepening bright. Confronted darkness with fierce and cold. Wendy broke the spell, her courage bold. She sought the truth of the heart of the despair, where shadow lingered, cold and bare. The shadow shrank, then vanished quiet, and Neverland shone ever so bright. Returning laughter, pure delight, and vanished fear would welcome light. So apparently, Captain Hook is not going to be the villain of this storyline. And this one has the black background, as the other two had the red one. And then, just like with the last one, you got the movie. And this one on the back does indeed say, or not on the back, but in the cover, it does indeed confirm that it is the third installment of the Blood and Honey Winnie the Pooh universe. And then just like the other, you got this with Peter Pan on one side, because he's the main killer. And then you got the one where it has multiple characters. Whew. So then, I don't even know, like, there's probably not even a thing I could really do other than showing off all of the art cards, I guess. So, I will put this in here, and I'll be back pretty soon. Okay, so, you got these, where you have the cases, obviously. And then you got the movies itself. And then you got the 3 books. And then, of course, you would also have the art cards that there are. You got all the Peter Pan type stuff. And then as it goes on, you can see you got more of it. And then you got the Winnie the Pooh stuff, too. Just ignore my Winnie the Pooh book over there. That is all. Goodbye for now.